So I finally did the thing. I've been dragging my feet for at least a couple of weeks. I think possibly longer than that, but at least a couple. I have felt like my time with the roller derby is done. Um, I mentioned a while back that it kind of felt like that one practice I went to, it's where I was kind of existing in this limbo state between like two existences, where there's the one in the physical where like all my friends were around me, we're all skating together, having fun, and then there was that other level where like the friends I've yet to meet, but that in the new life that I know is coming, um, were somehow right there with me and joking and laughing too, but nobody was aware of them except for me, which is a weird place to be. Tell people that to think you're delusional. Um, I've been going back and forth on writing a little thank you to my friends for their part in the growth that I've experienced in the past couple of years, because I did need roller derby to make me realize how much I was in my head and how much I always psyched myself out in my headspace. My body never quit on me. My head always talked me out of it before I ever gave anything a shot. So that was the day of the first workshop. I had that realization. And then back in the summer, I finally decided I was done talking myself. Here I go again with the talking and thinking myself out of stuff. But I was done making fun of myself for doing something athletic, just because I never really considered myself athletic at any point in my lifetime. I still spent the whole first year and a half talking myself down. You think you're an athlete? What are you doing? That's stupid. But realizing that is largely my family coming out in me. And that was something that I needed to break. So I decided that if I was going to do the roller derby thing, then it was time I started taking myself seriously as an athlete, which shifted me into this mindset of wanting to get outside and skate all the time. October, I think I was out on the parking lot more than I wasn't. And it's not been as much this month, in November now, but still quite a bit when I can, when I'm not freezing myself out of it. It's like 40 degrees today, and I'm out here in 6 shirts and like 3 pairs of pants, so it's really not too bad. But it's kind of funny because I realized a little bit after I skated away from the car that apparently, since I put in my roller derby notice that I wasn't gonna retire, I left the car without my helmet, so that's different. Yeah, but had everything else, just not the helmet, and I almost went back and got it, and it's like, yeah, even when I do fall, it's usually knees and wrist guards, so I think I'm okay. But it's also let me wear my hood a little bit while I've been skating, which keeps my ears warmer, so that helps. But still a weird little oopsie. I wrote a blog the other day and talked about how I knew I needed to make this decision and was still dragging my feet on it. And then I was writing it last night and listening to some things on YouTube, and I just kind of had this little epiphany where it's like, even this comes down to I was dragging my feet, not because I didn't trust myself that it's what I'm supposed to do, but because I felt bad, because we have a couple longtime family friends, like my mom and her friend graduated high school together and went to, I don't know how long, most of grade school, if not all of it, together, and her husband had said they would come watch me play this coming season. I kind of felt bad because it's the first time they said they were gonna come do it, and then here I am walking away from it. It's like, it has nothing to do with you, I promise. I talked to one of the people with the team, and she told me what I needed to do to go ahead on it, and they asked if I wanted to go active retired, where I could still pop in at any time and skate, or I could still participate in the Battle of the Bees. And I mean, I thought about it a little bit, but really I feel like this time of my life is just ready to be set aside so I can move into the next big thing. The direction I was given was to talk to the person that I think is the treasurer for the team, and she said, of course it depends on why you're walking away from it, and if it's time or if it's health or whatever else. She said they said there are things we could do about it. It's like, I appreciate that. It's time. And I don't know how you can, I guess, really tell a whole group of people that you've outgrown what you needed from the organization, the lessons and all that stuff, without sounding like an asshole about walking away from the people there too, because it's not that I've outgrown them, it's just I don't feel like this is part of my path any longer. And it's scary and kind of hurts. But honestly, I need to, I think, focus on finding connections that resonate a little better. Like the people on the team have been fabulous, and I'll hate not engaging with them as much, I guess, but it's not a thing because, or that I feel like I'm doing because I don't like them, or I don't feel like I'm better than any of them by any means, but I do feel like it's just time for me to go another direction. And really the whole fact that I've been dragging my feet to begin with, when I look at it, has everything to do with that whole people-pleasing thing that I've always done. And I know that I picked up that habit largely because my family continuously showed me or made me feel like it was not okay to be me. That who I was somehow flawed, and I go back to these conversations, like, the one I think I mentioned a while back that where my grandpa got after me for wanting to take a motorcycle class, because why do you always got to do everything different? You got two of the ugliest cats in the world, you got damn geckos, and now you want to take this motorcycle class. I was like, that was oh shit, that was like 13 years ago, and that conversation is still right there, and that's how my life has been. I've never had a problem being the black sheep, because I knew that I was here to break a lot of these cycles that they have they've always just clung to and didn't even know why they were clinging to them. They just did. We just don't do anything different. We have to do everything just like everybody else. Don't stand out. But Because God forbid if you are noticed in the world and people aren't going to like you, well, there's going to be people that don't like you either way. I have been surrounded by people who largely did not like me throughout my lifetime. Some of them I've been related to. And I think more than the not liking me part was just the part that they're afraid that I'm going to do something to embarrass the rest of them. Which, I don't feel like that's a reason to not live your life. And I know I mentioned that the other day, because like this existence that I've been in, I've definitely outgrown it. 40 years old, currently living with mom and dad because I got divorced and had to move back in and haven't been able to make it out yet. But also knowing that I am growing, and yeah, I can't even tell you how different everything is now just from 2 months ago. It's kind of been a ride. But I'm ready to walk away from the stuff that doesn't fit the person that I want to be. I listened to a YouTube video earlier. I think it was Magnetize Yourself was the channel. And the video that came up on as a suggestion for me today was talking about like exactly what I've been talking about. Is just you feel like you're expanding out or beyond something, and your future self is saying, do it. Do the thing that you know you're supposed to, because it's time. And it was just like roller derby. I gotta set it aside. I gotta walk away. And it is hard because that's been the first time that I've had a group of people that I allowed myself to try on different aspects of my personality that I'd always just been shutting off because family and the people around me were just telling me it wasn't okay, or making me feel like it somehow wasn't good enough for it. So roller derby has given me really a safe place to try on different parts of my personality and to be me differently than I'd ever allowed myself to be before. And I would periodically have these thoughts that would just come in and be like, is this okay? And then reminding myself that, yeah, this is okay. I don't really know these people, but I'm pretty confident they're not just gonna boot me out of the group because they see something they don't like or whatever. It's kind of, it's scary walking away from the safe places. It's scary walking away from the not safe places. But it's still necessary, and I know that. I struggle, but I know that. And I know everything will be okay. Really getting, being able to organize my thoughts better for the writing projects that I'm doing. The other morning I got up, had like 3 hours of sleep, woke up at 5:30, fed the dogs, and then started writing. And I find that I am able to connect with that flow state that there for a long time seemed like it was always eluding me. And I think that has largely been because, of all the times that I didn't trust myself. And I had this one job where I was working at a factory a couple years ago. I guess 3 years now. And the person that was my best friend at the time, we've been best friend for like 15 years. And we finally had this conversation where she flat out said that she didn't trust my judgment. And it's like, you know what? I knew that about her, but for some reason, it took her actually saying it before I could walk away from the friendship altogether. And I think that me and her connected at a time when I wasn't around my mom so much. For the I don't know, all the encouragement to doubt myself, or the resistance against me being anything other than what she wanted me to be. And so this person kind of took on like a fill-in role for my mom, where I wasn't hearing my mom tell me all these things that I needed to be aware of all the time. So I connected with this friend who might not say things directly, but she still gave me that sense of sense that she doubted what I was talking about, or maybe thought I was crazy, even if she was telling me that I wasn't crazy or whatever. It just seemed kind of like in a lot of ways it became like a fill-in for my mom. And when she flat out said that she didn't trust my judgment, it was like a light bulb went off, and it's like, you know what, I think that is why I have hung out with you so much, is because I knew that about you, but you didn't ever say it. But it still gave me that sort of safety net for not having to trust myself, because everybody else thought I was crazy, so why would I listen to me? That's actual garbage, but that's what I believed. Or what I unknowingly believed in the lies that I told myself just to stay safe. But that's not safe even, because well, what did I get from this existence but a lot of anxiety? And I'm learning to trust myself, but there, again, the whole roller derby thing, it was just more resistance to that actually surrendering to what I knew I needed to do. Because it's scary. Not scary that, I'm not going to play roller derby, but just scary because it's something that I've had that I could hold on to, and been people that I knew were safe to connect with. But at the same time, there's still I don't know. I don't really have anyone that I can talk to right now that just completely understands what I'm talking about with this other level and experiencing things differently. Like, I can listen to Abraham Hicks till the sun goes down, but there's other people aren't necessarily listening to that stuff with me, so it's just kind of me standing alone. And I know it's temporary, and I know it's a necessary part of the journey, Still hurts sometimes. But yeah, it's what I need to do to listen fully and trust my intuition and commit to what I've been telling the universe that I wanted to do. Like every time I've followed my intuition and it's worked out favorably, it has felt really good. And then I trusted myself more and started getting more sure of things. But then every time I question it or I drag my feet, it's like I feel that every bit as much too. And I think at the end of the day, I know I'm better for listening to it and following the guidance that I know I'm supposed to be following. But I mean, it's still intimidating, although every time I do it and it goes well, and then what I confidently believed would come of it does happen, or the worst doesn't happen, it always feels so much better that I listened to it and I followed along with what I knew I was supposed to do. And then I feel more confident in my ability to do so and my boundary setting with the lower vibrational types in my life. I know that probably sounds kind of arrogant, but at the same time, it comes a point where you have to draw some boundaries if people aren't supporting you in the endeavors that you are going through. I don't know, I had a conversation with my brother the other day, and he said my mom's afraid that I'm throwing my life away. It's like, well, she'd really probably think that now that I put in my Derby retirement notice. But it's not her life to live. Even though I always felt like I had to live up to her requirements, which I knew were also passed down requirements of my grandfather and probably my great-grandfather before him. You know, just hearing, I've heard lots of people say lots of things in my lifetime. And I don't want to listen to them anymore, because I know that what it has gotten me is difficulty trusting myself, difficulty being confident in the beliefs that I have had, even though I've had plenty of examples in my lifetime of the universe protecting me and helping me when I needed it. You know, still when you start being around the people that, like, you can feel their anxiety just when you walk in the room, it's like, empathic people have a really hard time not being swayed by that kind of stuff. And most of us were taught to be people pleasers because we were taught that there was something wrong with us. And there's nothing wrong with us. We just are extra sensitive, and other people are not okay with that. But we have to learn to be okay with that. And it is difficult to undo all that training with the toxic mindsets and attitudes, but it is necessary, and that's where I'm at now. And or have been at for a while, but I just need to focus on what I know I'm supposed to be doing and go with that. And stop worrying so much about what everybody else says, even though I do need the occasional reminders that people pleasing is something that I'm trying to do at a certain time. Because I didn't immediately realize it or recognize it as people pleasing when I was delaying that decision, but I do now. So, yeah, so I need to, I guess, realize that and just ask the universe to continue to showing me the things that I need to change and where I need to grow. Because I know there's still a lot of those points that I do need to work on yet. But that's what this time is for, to work on me and to do it for me. So, on that note, I think that's all I'm going to say for right now. So, thanks for listening. Catch you later.